In this accident, a black sedan was driving down a residential street in Houston, Texas, when the driver attempted to make a left turn at an intersection. However, the driver of the black sedan did not notice an oncoming silver vehicle approaching from the opposite direction. As the black sedan made the turn, it was struck by the oncoming silver car, resulting in a collision that caused significant damage to the front end of the silver vehicle and the side of the black sedan. How the driver of the black sedan could have prevented the accident. Better situational awareness. The driver of the black sedan should have been more cautious and aware of oncoming traffic before attempting the left turn. This could have been achieved by taking a moment to double-check both lanes before executing the turn, yielding the right of way. The black car's driver should have yielded to the oncoming silver vehicle, which had the right of way at the intersection. Waiting for the oncoming car to pass before turning would have prevented the collision. Damage assessment of the silver car. Front end damage. The front bumper, grille, headlights, and hood of the silver sedan likely sustained the most damage due to the direct impact. The force of the collision may have also compromised the engine compartment, leading to potential issues with the radiator and engine components. Estimated repair cost, $4,000, $8,000. Suspension and steering. Given the nature of the impact, the front suspension system, including the steering rack and control arms, could be damaged. This would require extensive repairs to restore proper vehicle handling. Estimated repair cost, $2,500, $5,000. Safety systems. Depending on the severity of the crash, airbags within the silver sedan might have deployed. Replacing deployed airbags and fixing the related electronic systems can be costly. Estimated repair cost, $3,000, $5,000. Alignment and wheels. The force of the collision might have knocked the wheels out of alignment, and the tires or rims could be damaged, necessitating replacement or repairs. Estimated repair cost, $1,000, $2,000. Damage assessment of the black sedan. Side impact damage. The right side of the black sedan, including the doors and possibly the rear quarter panel, likely sustained heavy damage. This may have affected the structural integrity of the vehicle. Estimated repair cost, $4,000, $7,000. Window and door mechanism. The windows and door mechanisms on the right side of the black sedan might have been damaged or rendered inoperative due to the impact. Estimated repair cost, $1,500, $3,000. Suspension and wheels. The impact could have affected the rear suspension and alignment, requiring inspection and possible repair or replacement of components. Estimated repair cost, $2,000, $4,000. In Baltimore, Maryland, on February 8th, a car attempting to run a red light collided with another vehicle that was driving on a green light. As a result of the collision, both vehicles crashed into a building at the intersection of East North Avenue and North Wolf Street, causing the building to collapse onto the vehicles. Video released by the Maryland Attorney General's office shows police officers quickly arriving at the scene, shouting commands to the driver to show his hands as he exited the car. Police also rushed to the rubble to rescue people trapped under the debris. Consequences of the accident. A pedestrian was transported to Johns Hopkins Hospital in critical condition. The driver of the car attempting to run the red light was detained by the police at the scene. On the highway, a white SUV decided to change lanes to the right. While being close to a car already driving in that right lane, the driver signaled the turn. But due to the sudden movement, the car in the right lane couldn't avoid the SUV and hit its right rear fender. The SUV spun out and blocked the adjacent lane. Let's examine how this accident could have been avoided. Checking the blind spot. The driver of the white SUV should have ensured that the right lane was clear and safe for lane change. This includes checking the blind spot before starting the maneuver. Maintaining distance. The driver should have left more space between their vehicle and the car in the right lane. This would have provided more time and space for a safe lane change. Smooth lane changing. The lane change should have been smooth and gradual, not abrupt. The driver should have gradually moved into the right lane, giving other drivers time to adjust to the maneuver. Signaling in advance. The driver should have signaled the turn well in advance before starting the maneuver, allowing other drivers to react and adjust their speed or lane position. Observing other drivers, the driver of the white SUV should have observed the behavior of the driver in the right lane. If they noticed that the other driver couldn't adjust in time, they could have delayed the maneuver. On this stretch of road, the vehicle on the left was speeding and attempted to merge into the right lane without paying attention to the car, with the dash cam moving ahead. The driver of the SUV lost control, veered off onto the shoulder, and skidded onto the grassy area to avoid a collision with another vehicle. How the driver on the left could have prevented the accident: maintaining a safe distance. The driver should have kept a safe distance between the vehicles to ensure enough room for safe maneuvering, avoiding sudden lane changes. Instead of sharply moving into the right lane, the driver could have merged more gradually, assessing the situation in advance. Speed control. The driver could have reduced speed and paid closer attention to surrounding vehicles, especially when merging on a high-speed road. Damage assessment of the vehicle with the dash cam. Suspension. Possible damage to the suspension as the driver had to make a sudden trajectory change to avoid a collision. Bodywork. Minimal damage to the bodywork, which could include small scratches or dents if contact occurred. Steering system. The abrupt maneuver may have resulted in misalignment of the wheels or wear on the steering components. Braking system. Heavy use of the brakes could have caused overheating and wear on the brake discs and pads. Estimated repair cost. Suspension and braking system repairs between $1,500 and $4,000, depending on the extent of the damage. Minor bodywork, scratches, dents, between $500 and $1,500. The red SUV was driving in the far left lane when a white sedan was pulling out from the shoulder on the right. The sedan needed to turn left, but failed to yield to the SUV and collided with it. Due to the difference in clearance, the sedan seemed to slide under the SUV, causing the SUV to be thrown to the side and overturned. The collision occurred at a relatively low speed, up to 40 kilometers per h, impacting the rear right wheel of the SUV. As a result of the rollover and collision, the SUV sustained the following possible damages: rear suspension and wheel, damage to the area around the rear right wheel, requiring repair or replacement, body, damage to the right side and roof of the SUV, including dents and scratches. Safety system, deployment of airbags and seatbelts, requiring replacement, windows and mirrors, possible damage to windows and mirrors, requiring replacement. The estimated repair cost could range from $5,000 to $20,000 for a mid-sized SUV, depending on the extent of the damage and the need for part replacements. To avoid this accident, the driver of the SUV could have taken the following actions: reducing speed when approaching the shoulder. Seeing a vehicle pulling out from the shoulder, the driver could have reduced speed and been prepared for a possible maneuver. Observing the sedan's actions. By closely watching the actions of the white sedan, the SUV driver could have noticed its intention to turn left early and taken measures to avoid the collision. Using the horn. If the SUV driver noticed that the sedan was not yielding, using the horn could have attracted the sedan driver's attention and prevented the accident. This car decided to turn left without yielding to a truck going straight. The truck collided with the side of the car, causing it to spin on the road. Fortunately, the truck driver and passenger were not injured. The woman in the car was taken to the hospital for further examination. This accident could have been avoided if the car driver had yielded to the truck. Remember, it's always important to follow traffic rules and be attentive while driving to prevent such incidents. On the road, a car was driving in the left lane, while a tractor was in the right lane. The tractor needed to turn left off the road, but failed to yield to the car, which couldn't brake in time. The driver of the car attempted to swerve around the tractor, but lost control and crashed into a tree at high speed. The accident occurred due to the tractor driver's failure to yield to the car, violating traffic rules. As a result of the collision with the tree, the car sustained significant damage. Possible damages include front body, severe dents and damage, radiator and cooling systems, likely need replacement, airbags, possibly deployed and need replacement, engine and transmission, potential damage requiring inspection and repair, suspension and wheels, likely also damaged. The estimated repair cost could range from $5,000 to $15,000 for mid-sized cars depending on the extent of the damage and the need for part replacements. To avoid this accident, the driver of the car could have taken the following actions. Reduce speed. By reducing speed when approaching the tractor, the driver could have had time to brake and avoid the collision. Observe the tractor's movements. By closely observing the tractor's actions, the driver could have noticed its intention to turn and taken early measures. Use the horn. If the tractor driver did not notice the car, using the horn could have attracted their attention and prevented the accident. Following these recommendations could have helped the driver avoid the collision with the tree and minimize the risk of damage. A serious accident clearly occurred in the parking lot. One car, presumably black, lost control at high speed, entered the parking lot, and hit another car parked to the left. Based on the sequence of events, the black car began to lose control. It flipped onto its side and crashed into the parked vehicles. Judging by the final position of the vehicles, the overturned car is seriously damaged, with its roof fully in contact with the ground. Numerous damaged parts, shattered windows, and a heavily damaged rear of one of the vehicles indicate that the accident caused significant damage. The overturned car likely sustained the following damages. Bodywork. The roof and front of the vehicle were damaged, especially from falling onto its side. The suspension and wheels may also be damaged. Safety system. The airbags likely deployed. Windows and doors. The windows and mirrors were likely damaged. Suspension and chassis. The suspension may have been damaged due to the rollover requiring major repairs. The estimated repair cost for the overturned vehicle could range from $10,000 to $25,000 depending on the extent of the damage and the need for part replacements. How the accident could have been prevented. Reducing speed. The driver of the black car could have reduced speed when entering the parking lot. Caution during maneuvers. It is essential to always exercise caution, especially when driving in confined areas such as a parking lot. Use of protective barriers. If protective barriers had been installed at the parking lot entrance, it could have reduced the severity of the accident. These preventive measures could have helped avoid such serious damage to the vehicles and minimize the risk of injury.